It was a cold evening in the city, the kind of evening where people hurried home, clutching warm drinks, hoping to escape the chill that seeped into their bones. The streets were buzzing with life, cars honking, vendors calling out, and neon lights flashing from tall buildings. But just around the corner, in a quiet alley lit only by the flicker of a dim street lamp, something unusual caught the attention of a man whose life was about to change forever. His name was Richard, a millionaire known for his sharp business sense, his endless ambition, and his belief that money could fix almost anything. Yet what he was about to witness would shake the very foundation of his heart. As Richard walked toward his car, his eyes were drawn to a frail figure crouched on the ground near a cardboard box. At first, he thought it might be a homeless woman, but when he stepped closer, he froze. It wasn't a woman, it was a little girl. She couldn't have been more than 8 years old, her thin frame wrapped in an oversized, torn sweater, her hair uncombed and falling across her small face. In her tiny arms she clumsily held a baby, no more than a few months old, whose cries pierced the night. Richard's breath caught in his chest. The girl was struggling with a dented baby bottle, trying desperately to feed the infant. Her small hands shook, and tears ran down her cheeks as she whispered, "Please drink, please don't cry. I'll take care of you." Richard felt his world tilt. 1,000 questions rushed through his mind. Who was she? Why was she out here alone with a baby? And how could such a young child carry such a heavy responsibility? He stepped closer, his voice soft. "Hey, are you all right?" The girl flinched at his words, clutching the baby tighter to her chest like a protective mother lion. "Don't take him," she cried. Her eyes were wide with fear, but also fierce with determination. Richard held up his hands in surrender. "No, no. I won't hurt you. I promise. I just want to help." Her lips trembled. "Everyone says that. Nobody means it." That single sentence pierced Richard deeper than he expected. He knelt on the cold pavement to meet her eyes. "What's your name?" he asked gently. "Lily," she whispered. "And this is my brother, Noah." In that moment, Richard realized this wasn't a game of imagination. This was a child forced to become a parent overnight. He glanced at the baby's sunken cheeks and the way he hungrily sucked at the nearly empty bottle. His heart, hardened by years of wealth and boardroom battles, suddenly cracked open. "Where are your parents, Lily?" he asked softly. Her gaze dropped. They went to heaven last month. The car crash, it took them both. Uncle said he couldn't keep us. He threw us out." Her words came in broken fragments, but each one hit Richard like a thunderclap. For a moment, Richard was speechless. He was a man who could buy almost anything in the world, but he knew no amount of money could erase the pain this little girl carried. Still, he couldn't walk away. Not now. "Lily," he said, his voice steady but tender, "you and your brother shouldn't be out here alone. Come with me. I'll make sure you're safe." But Lily shook her head. "No, people lie. They say they'll help, then they take babies away. I promised Mama I'd never let Noah go. I promised." Tears stung Richard's eyes. He realized he couldn't just offer words, he had to earn her trust. So, instead of pressing further, he sat with her on the cold ground. For the next hour, he simply listened as Lily poured out her little heart. She told him about her parents, how her mom used to sing to her at night, how her dad always lifted her onto his shoulders to see fireworks. She spoke of the crash, the funeral, and how her uncle, supposedly their only relative, called them a burden and pushed them out with nothing. She told him how she begged on the streets, how some people gave coins while others shoved her away. Through it all, she never once let go of baby Noah. Richard felt ashamed. He had walked past countless people in need before, always thinking someone else would step in. But tonight, there was no one else. It was him, Lily, and Noah. And something inside him whispered that maybe, just maybe, this was no accident. The challenges began almost immediately. Convincing Lily to come with him took patience. He took them to a nearby diner, where Lily hungrily devoured a bowl of soup while carefully feeding Noah with a fresh bottle Richard bought. For the first time in weeks, Lily's face softened, though her eyes still carried deep shadows of fear. When Richard brought them to his home, a sprawling mansion with marble floors and golden chandeliers, Lily hesitated at the door. "We don't belong here," she whispered. But Richard knelt again, looking into her eyes. You belong somewhere safe. And until we figure everything out, this is where you'll stay. No more cold streets. No more hunger. The days that followed were not easy. Lily struggled to adjust. She hid food under her pillow, terrified it might disappear. She woke at night from nightmares, crying for her mother. And whenever anyone, even Richard's trusted staff, reached for Noah, she would scream in panic. Richard realized it wasn't just shelter and food she needed, it was healing. So, he made it his mission. He cleared his business schedule, something he had never done before. He learned how to hold a baby, how to warm milk, how to sing lullabies. At first, he was clumsy, but Lily noticed his effort. Slowly, trust bloomed between them. She began to smile again, her laughter returning in small sparks. But the biggest challenge came when the authorities got involved. Social services arrived, questioning whether Richard, a single wealthy man, could provide a stable home for the children. Some suggested separating Lily and Noah into foster care. The thought of it shattered Lily, who clung to her brother, begging, "Please don't take him. Please, I promised Mama." Richard fought harder than he ever had in business. He hired lawyers, opened up his entire life for scrutiny, and stood in court declaring, "These children are not a burden. They are my responsibility now. And I will give them the love, protection, and family they deserve." His words carried the weight of sincerity, and for once, money wasn't the deciding factor, it was his heart. After weeks of hearings, the judge finally ruled in Richard's favor. Tears rolled down Lily's face as she hugged him tightly. "You kept us together," she whispered. Richard smiled, "And I always will." Years passed, and Richard's mansion, once silent and lonely, now echoed with laughter, toys scattered across floors, and the warmth of family dinners. Lily grew into a strong young woman, excelling in school and carrying her mother's gentle spirit. Noah thrived under Richard's care, knowing nothing but love and safety. And Richard himself transformed. From a man consumed by wealth to a father whose richest treasures were two children who had once been abandoned on the streets. The story of Lily, Noah, and Richard reminds us that sometimes life puts us in places we never expect, not by accident, but by destiny. One act of kindness can change everything. So, dear viewers, what would you have done if you were in Richard's place that night? Would you have stopped and listened to Lily's cries? I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if this story touched your heart, please support my channel, Be Kind Always. Subscribe, share this video with others, and remember, every small act of kindness can become a miracle in someone else's life.